As we're going to be doing a Let's Play video of Prison Architect PS4 edition. Uh, One of my favorite games. I started playing back in the Xbox One about a year or two. For those who don't know what this game is like, it's kind of like The Sims, but construct a prison and maintain it. Pretty fun. Uh, there's also a sandbox mode where you really just do anything, and then there's also the prison stories, which I'm going to do segments of. So let's get started. There's 5 chapters, and I'm going to start with Death Row. One thing about this game that surprises me, it looks a little cheesy because they don't have the whole arms and legs thing, but they do have the animations for hands. You can see the priest holding the Bible, and there are cutscenes that really help out with the storytelling. It makes it really well worth playing. So it looks like we have to start off building an elimination chamber. Excuse me, execution chamber. I'm thinking wrestling for a second. uh, this is basically building the building from scratch. You got to do all the walls, the um, foundation, everything needs to be done. It's that thorough of a game. You can't just, oh, I want a building, let me just put the building here. You have to kind of do everything from scratch. Oh my goodness, it's been a while since I played this. So let's get into it. So let me pause it. That's one thing I really like about this game is you get to pause the game. It keeps going, but you can pause it. You can do normal speed, or you can do fast forward, and it kind of goes through the days. But here's what the map looks like. You have all your prisoners. You can scroll over the guards you can interact with. There's the lights, kitchen, shower, etc. The main part you want to look at when you play this game is the road, because this is where all your supplies come in on this truck. Your prisoners come in on buses. Depends on how you have it set up. There's gates here. Highly recommend you doing gates and having everything fortified before you get prisoners if you play the free mode game version of it. They do try to escape. I've had lots of prisoners escape, and it gets crazy because there is lots of violence and blood in here, and so there's riots and everything, and you just want to make sure everyone is in order. So enough for that. Let's go to our objective. All right. So if you're really new to the game, you can keep it paused like this, and then you can do construction. You have your menus where everything that you can do is right here. So we need to do a structure and have a building, and it's kind of like a drag and drop and they have the measurements on the side so you can see is it 12 by 14 or 14 by 12, depends on how you want to read that. And because it's paused, it just has the format of it. It doesn't have anything built in yet. When you unpause it, you go to normal speed. You see your money's up top. Okay, so we have the workmen doing the construction. Sorry, I was kind of skipping it. I was like, I know what to do, but this is for people who don't know. You know, it's just minor cannon fodder. He's basically just saying this is the slowest part of construction. You plan ahead because a lot of buildings take forever. It depends on the size and what you need. And like I showed you where the buses are, or the road is, all their supplies come from there if you're playing a different mode. So if you ordered that building to be built, all your stuff comes from over here, and they have to bring all your stuff through all this and then put it over here. So play strategically, and if you have the patience, you can keep it at normal. Um, I have a lot of patience, but since I've already been through this step so many times, I'm going to fast forward it. You can see they all just going at it. And normally you want to watch out for groupings like this. There's been gang fights, stabbings, beatings, and stuff like that. But I'll show that later on in the series. They'll explain all that. Uh, bring up our to-do list. As it says, we have to construct a building. So let's figure out what's going on with this one. Prioritize it. Make sure it gets done. And it looks like this guy right here will be the guy to follow. And he makes the building. And there you go. You have a building. And like I say, you got to be super precise with it. You need to have doors to get in, windows, etc., etc. So um, now we're going to build a door. Now, playing this over the time, I've messed up so many times because I've had a guy build the whole building and he gets stuck in here because I forgot to add the door. So you have to be careful with that. So construction, walls and doors, and it doesn't matter how you do it. Let's see, as long as it's in that little area, and then fast forward it. Let's see, slow it down just a little bit. Here's this guy right here, the door. All right, and then he can install the lights, which is part of the rest of the foundation. So next is walls to make a room. So doors and walls, and you can do it individually or you can do drag and drop like that, and like so, and there you go. And all this stuff should be coming in. Here's a supply truck. It has all the brick we're gonna need, and then there's food. Kind of fast forward it for you guys. There is a day and night cycle. It doesn't really make a difference what happens throughout the day and night. Depends on your schedule. They have a in-game schedule where you can schedule lunch times, shower times, recreation times, etc. And it really, you don't have to keep it like the most humane schedule. You can have it like where they do 5 hours of sleep, like 1 hour of food, and the rest of the day they can spend in lockup. Depends on how you want to run your prison. Okay, so looks like we need to make more prison doors. You can rotate them left or right, up or down. There you go. And fast forward it for you guys. The best part about the story, I would say, is just it's a tutorial for the most part, but there's actually a storyline to it, and it starts off a little slow. Like we're 11 minutes into it, but um, it's a lot to take in. So I'd say take your time, learn everything you need to know. Make mistakes. It's kind of fun to make mistakes, but do them earlier in the game versus later in the game. Because once you're later in the game, you start making mistakes. It gets kind of hard to fix those mistakes. So basically, what we're doing now, and what I was telling you how thorough they are, we have rooms. So these are just empty cells right now, but we're making an indication that it's a cell. So people know, hey, this is a cell. This is where you take the prisoner. Um, and then this is the execution room. And now that you have the execution room, it'll tell you all the things that need to go in that room to complete the set per se. So uh, I feel like I'm missing something. Let's see. I think. What did I miss? Let's try this again. Oh, didn't miss anything there. And didn't miss anything there. Oh, maybe it's this one too. No. Oh, there we go. I have game pause. Silly me. So, before they become functional, like I was saying, you have to have the essentials in the room. And not everything needs to be the same. Like, you can have a cell room and just have like a bed in it. You don't need a toilet, you don't need a shower and everything. All that comes later in the game, and they're actually considered amenities. Depends on the prisoner's behavior and stuff. So if they're acting up, take their TV away, take their bed away. They still have the cell, so it's not the something you need to really worry about. And then my toilet's gonna be right here. Alright. And then for this, electric chair. Kind of a shocking way to go out. Okay, so yeah. I'm really glad that they give you all this and they don't just put you in the water with the sharks, because there is on the top left you'll see there's 43 prisoners, and we can have a capacity of 52, and we only have 18 guards. So there it seems like two prisoners per guard per se, and that can be wild. Depends on what kind of prisoners you're dealing with. So, like I was saying with the schedule, you see the top right here, it says sleep. It's 2:41 in the morning. So, if you have your schedule set for them to sleep, then they'll go to their cells and sleep. Or if you have their schedule set to eat or shower, then they'll eat or shower at that time. Depends on how your regime is. Fast forward it for you guys. Oh, there it is. Alright, and slow. It's up to you. Though still not required. And this is where I was talking about making windows and bookshelves and stuff. It all depends on where you think the prisoner deserves. There are some prisoners that are nice, really cool, laid back, and there are some that are just really malice. So, um, there's so much you can do with this game. Let's try to. Oh, here we go. You can either click on the Snapchat, the advance in the story, or you can hit the to-do list, and it's all optional. It's not a penalty for not doing it. So, real quick, I'm going to do it. You got to build a window, bookshelf, high quality floor, and a path leading to the new facility. So, let's pause this. The flooring. Let's do fancy tiles here. And objects, he needs a bookshelf here and a window. There you go. And then, sheesh. What else was the objectives? Bookshelf, floor, window, path leading to the new facility, and lights. Okay, so, it's been a while. Nope, it's not here. Objects. No, it's not there either. Well, let's do lights for now. No, I want to build a path first. Just to get things going, I'm going to put it on normal while I look for the path. This is interesting because I don't remember it being this difficult to do the path. Ah, that's what's going on. So with the flooring, it shows whether it's indoors or outdoors, and I kept skipping concrete tiles. So that's my fault. I kind of goofed off of that one. Do that, and then here you go. And now for the lighting, just do like one here and one here. And they're getting everything done. Here we go. Okay. And fast forward, build the path and the lights. And then I'm gonna go over here. And look, there's your trophy. Alright, now to the story. Alright. Um, I try not to talk throughout the story, even though they don't talk. Some people like to read in peace without having someone talking over that. So, this is the underground view. Basically, what I was saying earlier, how thorough it has to be. Uh, there is electricity and there's also water. So, for all the toilets, the showers, etc., you need to make sure there's a water pump and all the piping for all the electricity. You need to have a generator and all of the wires. and cables. Alright, so they have the cables, and you don't necessarily need to do it to all the rooms. It's just in the general area, and then they have the wires going from the main cable. So we have to work on power in this wing of the prison. So power supply, drag all the cable down, and we're going from here to here. And then we're going to fast forward it. So even though we built the building, it doesn't come with electricity off top. So we are going to make sure we get electricity from the power station to the execution room. Kind of the same concept. So here's the power station over here, and we got to drag all the wire from the connected green lines to here to the chair. And fast forward for you guys. So I'm gonna pause it real quick. Um, if you look at the top left corner, it shows that we have 0 guards available. It's because you can assign them jobs and stuff, which is good, but it's also dangerous because if something happens, then they can't necessarily leave their jobs to help out in the rest of the area unless you take them off their jobs. Um, this is the danger level. Currently, it's low, and it shows how many prisoners are really happy or if they're really mad or whatever the case might be. You also have your cash. This is how much cash you have. This is how much cash you get every day, and how much cash you lose every day. Depends on what you're having set up in your prison. And I wasn't paying attention, so someone died. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Sheesh. It says someone died, but unless you're really paying attention to the whole prison, it doesn't show where. It looks like everyone is okay here. Um, Playing this before, I used to have people die like almost every day, and it wasn't my fault. It was just later in the game they'll show you how to do searches. You can search the cell or search buildings and everything. They'll hide knives, weapons, everything. It's crazy what they can hide in prison. Um, but yeah, that's the gist of it for beginning. Let's get electricity to this room, and then I think we'll be just about done. So, what happened was too much juice is coming out of the electric chair, which is kind of like real life. You connecting things to one power bank is going to overload that power bank. So, we need more juice. They have capacitors that pretty much give you more juice for your power station, and we need to add more. So let's pause it. Here you go. And then fast forward it. Yeah, so you can see it got pretty dark with the power outage. We want to get that fixed really fast because there's some features that you can put in your prison where it requires electricity, like security cameras, certain gates. I want to say will open with the power outage, like this gate's closed, but you can have different kind of gates and doors and stuff that require electricity. So having a power outage is not the best thing to do or to have per se. Luckily, they're sleeping supposedly. You know, just because their schedule says sleep, there are some people who don't sleep. If I can find one like this guy, he's not sleeping, and that's people you have to watch out for because they stay up. They can dig tunnels. They can find a way out. Let there be light. All right, and that's the end of the first prison story, Death Row. The next one would be Palermo. Palermo. Can't even speak right now. I'm going to actually end the stream here. Thank you guys for watching. Name's Turquez. Have a good day. This is Prison Architect, PS4 edition.